long ball number 3 here on Wednesday. This story kind of is a very uniquely American follower unique story. I don't think any other fan base or reporters check trademark websites quite as much as American fans do.
Oh, for sure.
And we've dipped into that once again here. USL Premier has been trademarked as of this week, thus revealing a possible new name for the proposed Division One league that has hit the news in the last week or so. So USL Premier, how does that ring to you, Jason?
It does not. I do not like it. I can't lie and tell you. Look, I get it from the sort of, you follow the steps here. When USL decided to rebrand as they were launching their second division, and they decided to rebrand to the USL Championship, USL League One, USL League Two, which of course is their amateur division. When they announced that they had plans for a first division league, it only makes sense that they would call it something like the Premier, because of what they copied from the English pyramid, which I didn't like at the time, by the way. Before this even happened, I wasn't a fan of an American soccer organization saying, you know what we're going to do? We're just going to copy what the English have over there. We're just going to do the championship. And I guess we probably should have logically figured, well, if they're calling their top division, they're under no obligation to call their top division the championship, which is copying the second division in England. When they did that, we should have realized, oh, they're probably going to try to squeeze another one on top of this and call it something like Premier. Now, because they have the USL branding, right, so it's the USL Championship, and USL stands for United Soccer Leagues, you can't be like United Soccer League's Premier League, right? Is that
why
redundant?
not? Why not? Your joke on Blue Sky was totally on point with the ATM.
Yeah, I mean, people say ATM machine. You're like, no, the M means machine. Don't say machine. Just say ATM. Yeah, it could be USL Premier League. The reason that would be better to me, even though it would be redundant with double league, is because this feels like every town in America has a youth soccer team that calls like one of its teams like Premier. This is Springfield Premier, and this is
the NPSL National Premier Soccer League,
Maplewood Premier, and it's like that word now has come to mean something specific to me in my head, which is sort of like some of the more not problematic but less attractive elements of American soccer, right? Like pay-to-play stuff at the highest youth levels. That's what exactly it sounds like to me. So when you say USL Premier, that doesn't sound like a league to me. That feels like a team made up of 15-year-olds whose parents are dropping $10K a year for them to play. I don't like it.
Yeah, in my commentary journey, I've done quite a few state cup tournaments, and there's an elite and a premier division that contest in that. And it's, if you're looking at words, which one is higher? Which one is the top between elite and premier?
Right. And again, they're just borrowing from the structures that are already embedded in people's heads from what England has. And I think they could have been creative. I think they could have found a way to be. And let me also point out, because this is out there, it was filed 2 days ago. So it's very recent. It's new. As you said, American soccer fans, like for a while, I'm talking 10, 12 years ago, I was an expert at searching the trademark database. Like I knew what terms to use to find soccer stuff because I was always on the lookout for the new name for the new expansion team, back when USL was splitting with the NASL, we were getting new teams, and you were looking for new trademarks and logos, and you would take it to your blog, and you would publish, like, I found this is what's going to... And sometimes that stuff doesn't happen. Like, sometimes a lawyer files something and then the whole thing either blows up or they decide to move in a different direction. Sometimes they do placeholders. It's just like, oh, we want to squat on this in case somebody else tries to grab it first. But this does seem like it's going to happen. Like this feels like now they're still what? We're still 2 years away from them actually getting this thing off the ground if they stick to the calendar as it exists.
Mm-hmm.
I did have my afternoon radio partner, Eric Winalda, tell me that based on the way that this was disseminated, the news, the conversations that Paul McDonough had, and the announcement from USL that they intend to start this league in the 2027-2028 timeframe,
Mm-hmm.
he said that notation, 27-28, should tell us that they intend to flip their calendar. The USL intends to flip their calendar based on that being part of their press release, 27-28. Do you buy that, Robert? Do you buy that that's what that means?
That's an interesting take. I didn't really think about that, but that could infer that. And in my mind, I did think about that in the European sense, but I didn't necessarily draw that line to what that meant in practicality. But it also could give them some wiggle room. That slash could be a 27 or 28 rather than the calendar being like that. But at the same time, you noted that, nothing about the USL's announcement said specifically promotion relegation, although they talked about those things in the past. But USL has also, floated the idea of the calendar change a little bit farther back than Major League Soccer had. So I mean, it could be either, intentional ambiguousness.
Yeah, look, I think what USL has done over the last 5 years or so is throw out various bits of chum for American soccer fans.
Yeah,
like they're chugging along on their little boat and they're just tossing out calendar change, promotion relegation. Like they're just doing this stuff, and it doesn't mean that they don't intend one day to get there or that these aren't real ideas that they think could benefit their competitions, their business, right? We talked about this. USL is ultimately a business. But until they actually stop the boat, anchor the thing, and make one of these moves, it's really hard to buy that these things are happening. How long has it been since we heard that they were considering promotion and relegation? Now, if I'm not mistaken, and I don't have any reports on this, but if I'm not mistaken, the United Soccer Leagues just had one of those meetings where all the people in charge get together. So there could be some developments out of that. There could be we're announcing some intention to move forward on X idea or Y idea. But that is still a kind of that's still out there. I haven't seen any developments. I haven't seen any reports. I haven't seen them say we took a vote. Pro-rel is coming. That is when we need to. That's when we see that, we will really know that those things are serious instead of just they're just feeding us little bits to keep us coming along, right? And look, okay, so we've got a listener base that knows some things about USL, some viewers, and Nicholas Murray, he works for the USL. Shout out to Nicholas. Paul McDonough did tell the Associated Press last week the season will be spring to fall. So he's saying Nicholas is pushing back against that idea that this could be a calendar flip. So, and I'm not saying that Nicholas is in the know. So he's telling us what Paul McDonough said publicly. So, yeah, there's that.
Interesting times ahead. Hopefully, we'll see how this all plays out. And kudos to all those dipping into the trademark websites, doing that American soccer grind. If you haven't hit the subscribe button at Morning Kick Around YouTube channel, be the next to do so. We are at a fun number, 888, but hopefully we are not there for long. Be the next to subscribe, and then tell your friends and family and soccer acquaintances to do the same. Follow along on social media at MKickaround. X, Instagram, and Blue Sky. Write us a note, morningkickaround@gmail.com, or if you got some loose change rattling around, send us our way, ko-fi.com/morningkickaround for a one-time donation. You could just buy us a coffee, $5 one time, or set up a regularly scheduled donation. Anything will help us become a sustainable program and grow what we are doing here at Morning